Oh no. Why does it keep doing that? Okay, that's better. Hey, Joanna. Can you hear me? Let's drop the live.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I don't know why my camera it doesn't go on. Oh, I don't know. Okay, this is my first time doing TikTok live. That's fine. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Oh my gosh.
Yay.
Cool. It's my first time. Different
I'm
from
excited.
Instagram.
I know TikTok is so different from
Yeah. How's
compared to
everyone doing?
I think there's like I'm trying to share out the live
Yeah. How's it?
beforehand, so we can get a little bit more people in here. But either way, this is going to be a successful live because I
Okay.
claim it and I own it. So hey, God's favorite.
Right.
But for everybody, let's have you introduce yourself before we get into this. Oh wait, I think you froze. No,
Oh,
you
it's everything's
froze.
on my end.
Yeah, you're like frozen on my end. I can hear you, but you're frozen. I don't know if it's me or. There you go. Okay, you're
Okay,
not
good.
frozen
Maybe
anymore.
because I was on my cell phone data.
You were frozen for a good
Oh my
like
goodness.
2.5 seconds. So I'm like, why are you frozen? I'm like, good. But yeah, I was just trying to say, for you to just like introduce yourself so that everybody knows who you are and what you do.
Of course. So, hi everyone. I'm Joanna. I'm a registered dietitian. I focus on functional medicine and holistic healing, meaning I get to the root cause of why a person may be having symptoms. So, a lot of people go to doctors and they come back with absolutely no answers and they keep going to doctor, to doctor, to doctor. My job is to uncover why you may be feeling that way. I run the tests, the specific tests to find out what's going on. Also, I create a protocol that is specific for you, and of course, according to what your results come back as. So, my specialties are gut health, hormone balancing, autoimmune diseases. I also do some toxin work, so just to detox the body, and diabetes and weight management. So, yeah. Mhm.
So, can I think this is the one area in school that I did not get a rundown on. I learned about naturopathic remedy, like naturopathic healing and medicine, and like homeopathic medicine and Reiki and like other things and in school. But this I think is the one area in which we didn't cover. So can you care to explain what exactly functional medicine is?
Yeah, so functional medicine is basically like getting more into the nitty gritty. So we functional medicine practitioners, we like to get down into every like nook and cranny of what's going on inside. So we look at the blood work. Our blood work markers are very different from regular doctors. We have a different range just because that helps us see, well, why is a person, labs are normal, but why are they having these symptoms like headaches, like they keep having like really bad IBS, whatever the case may be. So with functional medicine, we use functional tests. So tests that are not covered by insurance, tests that like typical doctors don't run, like stool testing to find out what's going on inside your gut. Like, do you have any parasites? Do you have any overgrowth of the bad bacteria? Do you have very little of the good bacteria? How well are you digesting your fats? With hormones, we look at the whole big picture. So typically for a woman that's cycling, we look at the span, like a whole month span of a woman's cycle rather than just a 1 day type of blood work, because a 1 day type of blood work won't tell you the full story,
Mm.
with like a whole month, right? So, because our cycles are like up and down, right? With the follicular phase, the ovulation, and the luteal phase, the progesterone, and the estrogen sometimes are high and sometimes are low when they need to be high or low. So that's the thing with functional medicine. We actually get down to the root cause. Also, one thing that I've been learning a lot about is heavy metals and mold and how that affects the body. So people think that, oh, I don't know why I'm so sick. No matter what I do, I go to doctors. Doctors can't point me in the right direction. And then that's where I run tests like heavy metals, chemicals, also chemicals in the environment. If you live close to a pharmaceutical company or a chemical plant, those things also affect your water and your oxygen, and you're breathing that every day. And that is actually causing a lot of issues also in the body.
What about an open sewer septic tank?
Open sewer septic tank. I've never heard of that. What is that?
Uh, it's like it's usually in the basement, and basements of like houses and stuff. And if it's open, you can smell the stuff from like the sewer pipe in the bathroom.
Oh, okay, yeah. Now that sounds pretty toxic. That sounds pretty toxic, and inhaling all those toxic chemicals will cause issues. Can cause health issues. I shouldn't say will, just because some people react differently. Some people may be exposed to the same chemicals as somebody sitting next to them, and one person may be having really bad symptoms and the other person is just fine and they don't have anything. So it depends per person. It depends on, genetic factors. It depends also, how a person detoxes, if they sweat a lot. So it's like a whole, it's like, it's all connected.
Yeah,
It all
there's so much stuff that I did not even think about and to take into consideration in regards to all of this stuff.
yeah.
Like, oh wait, like I kind of wonder like why, because we had like a naturopathic doctor or a homeopathic doctor come to class one day, and also a herbalist come, but we never, like, this was an area that we never touched on, and you would think that this would be something that we touched on given the fact that it's holistic psychology. When we talk, even though it's holistic psychology, the holistic psychology does, um, it's not just psychology, it's holistic. And because it's holistic, you're not just covering the mind aspect, you're also talking about spiritual, like the mind, like spiritual, soul, body, like you're covering all aspects of it versus just the mind part of healing.
Right.
And so with me, it was like when I decided to go back to school, it was one of those things where my motivation to go back to school was, it was based on the fact that my ex's grandmother had passed away, and when she passed away from a very rare thyroid cancer, and she was going to the doctor regularly, and the doctors didn't catch it. So by the time they did catch it, it was already too late. And knowing what I know now, with the chakras being balanced and the fact that the thyroid is in the throat, I would just assume that her throat chakra is out of balance and needs to be in balance, and all the other things. So like that's paying attention to the whole aspect and not just this one thing is very, very crucial, because for me it was like, oh, I wanted to go back to school and I wanted to study quantum physics and neuroscience. I wanted to bring those together because I was already studying, practicing like the law of assumption and the manifesting part. But I was like, wait, something's missing. Because all you are talking about how it's just thoughts, but you're misincluding you're missing the trauma aspect. You're just telling us to affirm, 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 but you're missing like all this other aspects. I'm like, no, something's off. So I wanted to study quantum physics and neuroscience, but I couldn't find a school on the bachelor level that offered quantum physics and neuroscience. So then I stumbled upon Lesley University, that's in Massachusetts, and this was during the pandemic. And I'm in New York, so my school's in Massachusetts. But because of the pandemic, the classes were offered online and on Zoom. So when the lady was like, at some point you're gonna have to be in person, you're gonna have to make this work, and I'm like, oh, I'll make it work somehow, some way. I will make it work. So I applied. I ended up applying for the holistic psychology with a specialization in expressive arts therapy, and I guess you could say that I really did manifest this, because up until that point, all of the schools that I had already originally gone to, I started it, but I would drop out. It would never work out. And so going to this school, they had a minor in which I almost didn't graduate with for cognitive neuroscience, but they also had a minor in photography. And the director of that program was like, you want to transfer over to the photography major? No, I'll get it. Maybe not right now. Maybe when I get a master's degree, I'll get, But she was really trying to poach me, and I was like, I just want to graduate. But that's besides the point. They also had a master's degree in mindfulness, which I'm currently in the process of completing. But learning about all of these different aspects and like the energy healing and all of this stuff, my end goal is to start a model and talent agency that provides mental health services and financial services to models and other talents. But I want to include, I don't just want to offer the mental health services. I also want to give health services too. Obviously, I don't do that, but this is why I like connecting with like other individuals that talk about this stuff. It's a
No,
part of
definitely. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, it's just a part of a bigger plan. So
It is. It is. And that's awesome. I mean, quantum physics is becoming so popular now. And it's so important because we don't realize how unconnected we are to our bodies. We don't even realize it. Like we think things outside of ourselves when the healing and the answers really just lie within us at the end of the day. And that's something that I've learned throughout the years. Like I've shared with you previously, that I've had my own spiritual journey. I was like born and raised Catholic, and then I became a Christian, and then I just kind of backed away from that a bit, just because I feel like something deeper was calling me. And then I went into hypnosis and got into manifestation, just meditation in general also. And then I've been to the Dr. Joe Dispenza retreats. I've read his books, been to his retreats. Phenomenal, phenomenal. For those of you that are watching, I highly recommend it. It's like an experience that it's an experience that I recommend you try it out. And my life really changed, and the way I see the divine, the way I see God, universe, whoever, whatever you guys, whoever here believes in changes, and you begin to realize like, whoa, we have so much power. Like we were designed to create just like God Himself created. And I'm telling you, just we just have so much power, and not just create, but to also heal our bodies. So our bodies have the innate capacity to heal itself. And we think that, well, it's genetics. Genetics, we're doomed by our genetics, and we're gonna all just die, and we're all gonna catch because our grandfather had cancer. We're gonna have cancer because my dad had diabetes. I'm gonna have diabetes, and that's a whole bunch of BS that the healthcare system has thrown at us. You will not. You do not have to suffer with that. There's epigenetics. Epigenetics is us changing our genetic code by how we, meditate and how we, feed ourselves also. So it's also how you take care of yourself. You can also change that genetic code. So we are not doomed by our genes. We have the capacity to change all those things.
We do. We do. And I think and that's actually something funny because when I took my cell and molecular biology class, we did end up talking about epigenetics at some point. And I was like, I brought it up to, because I was taking it, but I was taking it as an independent study. So I wasn't in the classroom, so I had to kind of like learn it all on my own. And I posed the question to my professor. I was like, okay, epigenetics. Like I brought it up, and he was like, I guess because of like something about Joe Dispenza, like there was something about like the research and how it's fake research or something. I was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, he tried to sway me away from the epigenetic stuff, and I was like, don't do that. Like, I actually like this is actually of interest to me, but I guess it's because of the professor's lack of understanding. That's the reason why he was trying to sway me in the other direction. Because I think that when it comes to anything, like if the person is very logical, very sciencey, they may not understand like the quantum physics and the mystical and the holistic side to it. So then when somebody like me comes in, I'm like, I'm questioning everything. Like I'm not gonna read. Yes, I'm gonna read the textbook, but no, I'm questioning this because I think we need to think in a different perspective outside of what we are taught to think. And like you were saying, with that, we're so disconnected from our bodies. But then when you look at our society, we're not only just disconnected from our bodies, but we're also disconnected from each other. And if we're disconnected from our bodies and we're disconnected from each other, that means we're also disconnected to the earth,
Right.
which is true.
Yep. I agree. I agree. And that's so true. I feel like it's your professor probably felt like he's not educated in that aspect for him to input. And yeah, and there's a lot of crap out there to talk bad about Joe Dispenza and saying like, oh, there's all fake stuff. And I'm like, nah, I don't. I mean, if I myself have experienced some supernatural experiences, and I wouldn't make that stuff up. And of course, I'm not promoting him, and I'm not getting any type of compensation or anything like that. I'm just speaking from experience. But there are people that haven't gone to his retreat. So let me take a step back. You don't have to go to a retreat for you to have like a spiritual awakening. You can literally have that on your own. Like I've had some beautiful, spiritual awakenings on my own in my bedroom, and meditating, journaling, whatever. Like there's just so many great teachers out there, and you just have to find what resonates with you. And there's some people that they do Dr. Joe's work, and they're like, oh, okay, like they like it, and they kind of just go with it. Some people try it, they don't like his work, and it's just everyone is different. Everyone is different, and it's okay. I mean, I've had my share of like I've been to his retreats. I had to take a little step back because I was dealing with something, and I started listening to like a life and energy coach, and she's phenomenal. Oh my God, she's amazing. Her name is Cece, and
Is this the one you did the live with? Or
no,
is
I
this
haven't.
the
Oh, no,
one?
no, 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 not her. That's Maria. This is her name is well, she has a podcast. It's called That Bitch is Positive,
I
and
love
I think and she's really good. Like I started listening to her a year ago, like in March, and oh my God, like I'm a whole different person. I'm listening to her podcast. I did her little course. I read her book or listened to it. I listened to audiobooks, and I'm I'm another woman, to be honest with you. And like this girl, like you never know. You never know what you might run across. A professional or something like that, or somebody that's in that field. You never know, and you really want to just see what resonates. There's some people out there that I'm like, man, you don't know what you're talking about. Please get off the internet.
that part, and that's for a separate live for a whole other day. Because wait, what? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think some people might lack critical thinking skills, but we're
Uh-huh.
we're not gonna judge. Show them
No.
compassion because we had, forgive them for they do not know, and their understanding.
Right.
But I guess the question that I want to propose to you is, how did you get into what you do? Like, what sparked it?
Yeah. So I had really bad gut issues when I was a kid, and then they got worse when I was became a teenager, and I got diagnosed with PCOS. I had like missed periods, um, like just really bad cramps. And then I got to college, and it was even worse because now like I started getting hives, like I started getting like these, like I had really bad acne also, like throughout high school, middle school, and even in college. And I was like, damn, I don't know what I'm doing. Like I'm eating so well. Why am I getting all these breakouts? Like everything I eat is organic. And I started getting, like I said, hives, like these like mosquito bites on my face when I would eat. I was feeling really bad fatigue. My PCOS got even worse. And then, I said, I don't know where to go. Like doctors were telling me, oh, just take birth control. That made the situation even worse. Doctors were telling me, oh, you're probably just stressed out. Just try to do some exercise, get some sleep, drink some water. And at the same time, it's like, well, I'm doing all of that stuff. Like I've always had like an active lifestyle. Like these doctors weren't getting to the root cause of what I was going through. So then I started learning like holistic health, like herbs. Started learning about like, well, what can I take for my acne? What kind of teas? Like I started getting into like natural medicine, and again, this was in my very limited understanding of what functional medicine is and holistic medicine is. So I was just going off of what I was reading on Google. And then I decided to, so first I was the scientist at a pharmaceutical company while I was making medications and all that. I hated it. And I was so sick. I was literally so sick. And I was just like, why am I making these medications? I'm never going to take this stuff anyways. This stuff is a whole bunch of crap and a whole bunch of chemicals when I could do something more natural. And then I went back to school to become a registered dietitian. And I used my license to have access to these labs where I can run like the stool test, the hormone test, all the blood work, there's just an unlimited amount of tests that I can run. But this is why I do what I do, because I suffered so much and doctors did not help me. And it was very frustrating. And there were times when I'm like, okay, there's no hope. Like I felt hopeless. And the fact that I've been given this opportunity is the fact that I can help people that were suffering just like me. I can help people, well, pull them out of I know what's going on. I can run your food sensitivity tests and see why you're getting headaches. Something so simple. Something like food sensitivities can cause headaches, migraines, acne, bloating, rashes, autoimmune diseases. There's just a whole plethora of things that could be going on. But this is why I do what I do, and I love what I do. I feel like this is a field that is becoming more and more big by the minute, especially now with, now there's so many things with politics going on, but there is this field is becoming so big, and it it's a big way to help. This is like a big opportunity to help people to find out exactly what's going on, rather than just going in circles to one doctor, go to this doctor, go to that doctor, go to this doctor, and then you get a prescription, and we go here, and we go to the pharmacy. It's just
Yeah.
I hate going in circles, and I've lost a lot of money. Like I've wasted so much money on like dumb crap. And I'm like, oh, does this work? Does this work? Does this work? And I hate that. Like I hate wasting money. I hate wasting time. So that's why that's the beauty of these tests. It's to save time and money, so you know exactly what's going on.
I love that. Like and that was, it's funny because we had that when we had that consultation and we were talking about like the whole healthcare system or whatever. It's like that idea came up in my head again because I was like, why is it that insurance is like Medicaid, they don't cover like the natural stuff, and then you have to come out of pocket, and it's like, wait, but I don't have this. But then you have to pay for the insurance, like you have to get those, acupuncture, and to get like the chiropractor and cupping and like all those like holistic approaches to medicine, even or potentially working with you with the insurance, you have to pay insurance for that type of insurance to get that type of health care. So I'm like, wait, that's backwards. Or you have to have a job that will give you health care to pay for this stuff. I was like, but that's so backwards.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. Like, why are we paying for this? Like, we shouldn't have to pay for this. Like,
Right.
it's like our healthcare system is literally making, like, our healthcare system is literally making us sick so that they can profit off of us. I
Right.
don't like that. Like, I hate it. It bugs me on so many different levels.
Yeah. Yeah. It does not benefit the government for everyone to be sick. And that's something that we discussed in grad school. And they were like, they asked the question. I immediately knew the answer, so I just blurted it out. I was just like, yeah. They were like, why is it that if everyone was healthy, why isn't that great? I was like, well, because there wouldn't be money. Like, think about it. These hospitals, there's so many doctors, there's so many nurses, anesthesiologists, social workers, you name it. Everyone is there, right? So in a perfect world, everyone is healthy. Those hospitals, all those doctors will be out of a job. So you would only have, like, let's say one or two doctors working at think about it, a hospital, right? One or two doctors, one nurse, one dietitian, one anesthesiologist, one surgeon. Boom, that's it. Where will everyone else go? Out the door, you got to go back to school and find another career. So it doesn't necessarily benefit the government, doesn't benefit healthcare, doesn't benefit insurance for everyone to be healthy, which is the reason why I don't work with insurance because I refuse to be part of a crooked system. I refuse to be. And there are insurances that only cover like 2, 3 consultations max in a year with a dietitian. It's like, well, great. What can you do with 3 consultations? Absolutely nothing. So they benefit off of people being sick. They benefit off of it. Everyone gets a piece of the pie. And what does the person get? Absolutely nothing.
Like,
Absolutely nothing. It's more
like,
sick. They keep going in circles. They go to this doctor, that doctor, this medication. We're going to change the medication. We're going to try this. Let's try that. Every time a doctor writes a prescription, the doctor gets a check in the mail. They get a really nice check. So that's how it works. And there is it's a crooked system. What can I say?
that part, like it's so, and it's so crazy because then it's even like with even with some of the books that I had the opportunity to read, like I think there was a doctor. I've read The Myth of Normal, by Gabriel May. If you haven't read that book, you can probably read that book. It's like a book. It's a pretty hefty book that'll take you some time to read, and it's like, and there's so much information on it in it that it's not one of those books that you can rush to read.
Right.
But it's a good book in the sense of helping you to reframe and understand that nothing about our society is normal. One, we think that it's normal, but it's actually not normal. But I think there's another book that I read, Paths Beyond Ego, the trans psychology. And in there it talked about like normal and what normal is, and what normal is basically when everyone decides that this is normal, but it's actually not normal. And there was a book that I can't remember what it was. I can't remember what the name of the book is. I do know I talked about it in one of my TikToks before, but it was written by a doctor who he basically he basically was in med school and was frustrated because he had to rush to see his patients. Like they wanted him to rush. Like they teach you to rush. They don't teach you to take your time and understand and get to know the patient and figure out what the root and the root issue. They wanted to rush him, and so eventually we got to a point where he's like, "No, I'm taking my time with these patients. I want to actually help them."
Right.
And he wrote a book about it, and it changed. He ended up healing a lot of different people from that perspective of not rushing to take care of their things, because it's like, why are we teaching these doctors to rush? And that's how people get worse. That's how people get sick. And like, even for me, I had some basically in, I can't even remember how long ago it was, but it was a long enough time frame that in the month before I was supposed to go back to school in 2021, I got some appendicitis, which is so rare that it's so rare and so much worse than having appendicitis that I don't wish that on anybody. It was actually, it felt worse than COVID because my fever was 105.
Oh my God.
You can literally boil an egg on my skin, because that's how much it was. I had it for 5 days, and the doctors couldn't take out the remaining piece of my appendix, because if they did, then it would lead to bigger issues for me.
Right.
So they had to give me antibiotics. They had to give me antibiotics. They had to give me like electrolytes. They didn't even want me to eat, drink, or anything. And I was like, you need to give me something. Like, if you don't, I'm going to keep acid. Like, they weren't trying to give me anything. I was like, you need to give me some type of ginger ale because I have nothing in my system. Like, I have nothing. There's nothing else in there. And I couldn't stop, like, what was happening. Like, and I felt miserable. And I was like, I don't know how to make it through. And the lady was like, do you still, like, because they're COVID. I didn't have COVID. And the lady was like, did you know you still have your appendix? No. And because of the fact that it was so long ago, I can't sue the doctors that took out my appendix the first time. And the irony of that is that I knew that I had an appendix issue. Like, I knew my body well enough to know that I had an appendix issue the first time around, but they were treating me for something else as opposed to treating me what I'm telling them. Hey, this is an issue. Can you please do something about it? They were not listening to me. So they were hospitalizing me for PID and some other stuff. I was like, this is not my issue. I have appendicitis. Please take out my appendix. So for 6 months straight, I had appendicitis for 6 months, going undetected, even though I knew that's what I had. And I obviously didn't know about, manifesting at that time and my ability to heal myself. So I was like, by the time I actually did get to go to the doctor, I thought I had, for 1 week, I was supposed to get my period, and for 1 week, I didn't get it. Like, there was a time I was like, I didn't get my period. I had a missed period, so I thought I was pregnant, but apparently I wasn't, because I was felt like I was getting it on the train. So by the time I got home, I realized, oh, wait, there's some discharge here, but it's not my period. I had to be rushed. I had to go to the emergency room. And then that's when the doctor was like, oh, yeah, by the way, you're right. You do have an appendix issue. And I missed African Fashion Week. And I was like, this could have been avoided if you took out my appendix and I told you to take it out. But no, you didn't want to do it and you didn't want to listen. And then you kept the piece of my appendix, and I didn't know. Because for however long I did, like 10 years went by,
Wow.
and then somebody literally sued. I had looked it up. Somebody sued the hospital that took out their appendix, and they got $500,000.
Wow.
And I would have won, and it was again. It would have won. I would have won, and I would have probably gotten more because it was from the state. So it's like things like that irk my nerves, because it's like all these things could have been avoided had you done your job and done your due diligence the first time and listened to your patients. They don't listen. They just, they're
Yeah.
quick.
They're quick. It is, and it's so sad because I've been in the, of course, I've been to doctors and everything in the past trying to figure out what's going on, and they don't even sit down. It's like not like 5 minutes max. You get 5 minutes max per doctor, and then they're off to the next one, and they're like, well, okay, well, here's a prescription. You pick it up at the pharmacy, and I'll see you in a month. Of course, they want to see you in a month because they charge your insurance like a good $400, $500. So you can imagine how much money they're making. All right, so they're getting $400, $500 per patient. So you do the math. Let's say a lot of them, they see many patients in a day. They see probably some doctors see about 30. So you do the math, 30 times 500. That's a lot of money, right? But that's sad. It's sad. It's sad. That's part of the reason why I have my own practice, is because I like to take my time, right? An initial consultation is 2 hours with me. We uncover every single little thing. There's no rock that is unturned. And a follow-up, an hour, right? Again, it's very, very in depth. So that's the reason why, because I was treated so poorly that now I like to make sure that everyone gets really good treatment. The treatment that I didn't get, I give it to my clients. Is there a question? They wanted to remove my thyroid, then I would need meds forever. I ended up going to the holistic who regulated my TSH level. Yes, yes, exactly. That is what I do too. I love to regulate. Exactly.
I wish I knew that before, because my mom had to get her thyroid out, and I did not know that. And she's not, she doesn't understand the holistic side, and she works in the hospital.
Yeah, yeah.
So she
I
doesn't
refuse to let
understand
them.
it.
Very good. Very good that you refuse to let them, because there's just so many things that these doctors don't know, and they refuse to know. Reason being is because yeah, you eat a lot of kale, it good. They don't want people to know it. They feel threatened. They feel threatened when somebody knows their stuff. When you know what you're talking about, they do not like it, and they treat you like crap, because I've had to go to doctors now, me being a dietitian and me telling doctors, hey, I know this, and I go through what they know, like I
Yeah.
refresh their memory, and they get very upset. They get very upset. They get nasty, and I'm like, look at your tone of voice, look at your attitude, and look at me. What's going on?
Yeah, that
It
part.
doesn't. They don't like it. They feel triggered. They feel threatened. They feel threatened by somebody that knows their stuff, somebody that's educated.
No, that part is very, very true. Because like, even when like luckily like with my neurologist, like when I go to my neurologist, like she actually encourages me to look for holistic stuff. Like she
Mm.
encourages it. Like she doesn't stop me. Like she's like, if you want to go that route, I support it. Whatever we have to do to help minimize the amount of migraines, because the goal is for you to not have to have migraines again. That's the goal.
Yeah.
So whatever we have to do to maneuver with that, like, but I love her because she actually listens to me.
Hmm.
Like I
Right.
tell her, like, hey, this is what's bothering me. Like she actually listens, as
Right.
opposed to most doctors where they're not listening. Like even as of recently, um, like we don't realize that okay, you need. It's not a bad thing to go to go to the doctors. Like no,
No. Yes.
it's a matter of just going to the right ones that are actually going to listen to you and
Yes.
having a team of people that are going to help you get better. So it's like,
Agree.
okay, hey, so it's like for me, my understanding of how I'm looking at things now is okay, I have the manifesting part down pat.
Hmm.
Great. But now I got to work on the internal and the energy and getting my energy into alignment and all these other things and getting, and so there's a team.
Right.
Like eventually I'm going to be working with you. Then I work, like I'm going to be working with you. Then I have my Reiki healer and the other energy healer that I'm going to be doing a live with her on Tuesday. But she does shamanistic energy healing.
Mm.
So I'm looking forward to the shamanistic and then like the Reiki and pairing the two. So I had my first Reiki session on Wednesday, and then I did cupping therapy on Monday. And I already feel the difference. And slowly but surely I'm gonna add to that list. I'm also started implementing some Ayurvedic medicine
Very good. Right.
stuff. So I started waking up and drinking the warm water with the lemon
Hmm.
and whatnot, and just staying with drinking that like all day, um, including putting Celtic salt in my water to help
Very
me
good.
stay more hydrated.
Right.
And I'm gonna eventually get chiropractor and the acupuncture and just like implementing like all these like different things to like help better take care of myself and my emotional well-being, because it was like I don't think I had a problem, as according to the Reiki person, she was like your higher self is like free looking like Patrick Star. That's what she said. But my my current version of myself was, it was like rocks. I was like carrying a bag of rocks on my shoulder, and that's where most of my pain, like when I was going to like my physical therapist or my occupational therapist, I tell them like, hey, I feel like I have rocks in my shoulders, like, and it's so painful. Like I feel like there's rocks in there, and she's
Hmm.
like telling me, she's like, yeah, we have to like slowly remove those rocks. But she paid so much attention to my shoulders that I haven't really felt much pain
Hmm.
there. So I'm like, okay, clearly there's like something there. So it was like not like I'm not doing the work. Like that's not like the affirmations that I've been that I'm listening to in the subliminals or anything, that or the meditation is not working. Just my energy is out of alignment. And if your energy is out of alignment, how the heck can you do any, like how can you bring into these things that you want when your energy is out of alignment?
Right.
And so
Right.
the fact that she picked up on the shoulders and like that rocks, I was like, can you get out of my head? Because that's like, can you get out of my head? Like, wait a minute. But again, that was a hands down the best experience that I've ever had in my life. And I'm thankful that I got to experience that in person as opposed to trying to do it virtually, because it was such a beautiful experience. I felt like I was floating. It felt so euphoric. At some points, I think I was gonna cry. Like when she got to the shoulders, I felt like I was about to cry. When she got to my hips, definitely felt like I was gonna cry. Like the mid section and my hands, I felt laughter. Like there was a sense of laughter and joy. Like, why am I feeling like this? But it was like I was sleeping, but I was aware, but I was sleeping, but aware. Like I felt like I was floating. I was like, what is going on? Like I don't understand it, but it felt so real, and it felt like I felt heat and tingling, like all throughout my body. I was like, I didn't want to get off the table by the time she was done. I was like, I don't want to get up. Are we done already? Like, I don't want to get up.
It's powerful. Powerful. I mean, there's, I'm telling you, there's some very, very like talented people that know exactly what they're doing. And I'm glad you were able to release, what's no longer serving you. I'm happy that you were able to, have this like a new wave of better, cleaner energy. That's really good. That's
Yeah,
really
it was such an amazing it was such an amazing experience, and I was like, I'm really looking forward to seeing like how implementing all these different things, because I think for me it was more like, okay, I learned about this stuff in school.
right.
Now it's time to implement the stuff that I'm learning and that I've learned, because I
Exactly.
can't, just learn about it. I gotta be about it.
Exactly.
So like, it's just a beautiful experience. Like even I think within like 24 hours, I started seeing evidence and started things that I was like not expecting were popping up. I'm like, wait, huh? I had emailed somebody in January for a solution to for a solution, and I hadn't heard anything from them.
Mhm.
And then they called me like the very next day trying to resolve it. I'm like, but I emailed you in January. Why are you not just getting back to me? We're in March. And this is literally the very next day after. Not even, and I can't even say it was like 24 hours. It wasn't even 24 hours because I did it at like 5 something. So it wasn't even 24 hours of doing that. It was
Mm.
less than 24 hours that I got that call.
Yeah.
And I do agree that I've definitely unlocked something, because there was no other explanation, because I literally did not hear anything. It was like crickets. So the fact that I'm like, what is going on here? Even like the very next day after I had the cupping session, my
Mhm.
social media started, like on my TikTok, started growing.
Wow, that's awesome.
And I was like, wait, what's going on here? Like, hold on. Cup it, like, what? Like,
Wow.
how the heck? Because I asked ChatGPT, I asked for ChatGPT for a plan with my manifestations and how to implement and help me come up with a plan and how to implement like the functional medicine, the cupping, the Reiki, the energy healing, and the Ayurvedic medicine. It gave me a plan of how to incorporate all of it and what to do and how to break it down and like what I need. And so on days where I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna pay for this, I'm like, nope, somehow, some way, I'm gonna get this paid. It's gonna work. Don't know how. And like
Right.
somehow I'm going to work with these people. Don't know how I'm gonna work with them, but I'm gonna work with them.
Yeah.
Like, because it's beneficial. We don't think that we take a lot of people, they take the information and like, okay, it's my assumptions that are creating, but it's like if your energy is out of alignment, and this is not even about bringing, it's sort of like, oh, this is law of attraction. This is not law of attraction. This is,
Mm.
you are an energetic being. You cannot, it's not just about, the assumptions can be embedded into your subconscious, but you're not going to see that evidence if your energy is out of alignment. Because if you're constantly depleted, which is what I was feeling, I was constantly feeling depleted, like every day. How am I expecting to see movement in my manifestations if my energy is out of alignment? But we don't take it, like people just don't take, they don't think twice about it. They're like, yeah, I will just affirm. And it's like, no, you gotta take. There's gotta be a give and take.
Yeah.
You had to take care of that part too. So I
Mm.
guess my next question would be for you is, Uh, what do you think? How do you think that your health and your gut health and your health overall affect your manifesting?
Oh, a lot. I'd say it, um, when you have like really bad health, like when you have like really bad like IBS and all that stuff, and it's like, first of all, when you have really bad IBS, you have trouble like sitting down and meditating because you have to like run to the bathroom, right? So you feel hopeless. You do feel hopeless. You're like, what's the point of me manifesting when look at my health? My health is crap, no matter what I do. And that is something that I always tell people that you want to heal yourself. Well, what does that healed version of you look like? What does that healed version, how does that healed version talk, walk, think, dress, all of it, right? We don't realize how much our health affects our mental health.
Mm.
And our gut is directly connected to our brain, and our brain is directly connected to our gut. So, oftentimes, the story of, well, not the story, but when someone is like really nervous and they get like diarrhea,
Yeah.
and it's just the thoughts, like it's like on a train, or like it's like going really, really, really fast, and then that's what happens to our gut. Our gut receives all that information, and we have to like run to the bathroom.
Mm.
Um, so our brain affects our gut, and also our gut, when we have so many microbes in our gut, and when we have an imbalance, a lot of those microbes can actually cause anxiety, can
Mm.
cause depression, can cause so many other psychological issues. Um, Also, well, it leaks into our skin, like acne. All those things affects how we also see ourselves. So if you have really bad health and you're manifesting, and then, well, like I'll take myself for instance, like I'm like, oh, I'm a good person, I meditate and I do all these things, I pray, talk to God and all that, and I had really bad acne, and I was like, well, what am I doing wrong?
Mm.
Right? So you kind of start feeling guilty, like, man, what am I doing that is everything is like leaking out, that you kind of just get like in this funk. So yes, your physical health will affect your mental health, affect your manifestation. Also, one thing I'm something I did talk to you about a couple weeks ago is, if you want a future, a really bright future of, let's say, I don't know, you want to see yourself living in a, just so to speak, living in a big mansion, having a whole bunch of money, living a good life. And it's like, well, what will that be if your health is crap, right? Like, you want to be able to experience all these experiences, but if your health isn't the best, you're going to be connected to an oxygen tank everywhere you go. You're going to constantly be needing medication everywhere you go. You're going to constantly be like on the lookout for where's the nearest bathroom everywhere you go, because your gut health and your health in general is crap. So that's something I always tell my clients is like, you want a new future, you want a bright future? Well, let's make sure you have the right health in order for you to get to that future.
That part. 'Cause we can't, we have to make sure we're doing our part in the physical. It's like not everything that you do is going to require you to, granted, there's a lot of my manifestations that have came in where I didn't have to do anything, and I was just chilling on my throne or whatever, and I got what I wanted. Granted, no,
Right.
but there are some things like your health that are gonna take some. you doing your part and doing your due diligences. I
Right.
think when it comes to your health, when it comes to like social media growth, these are
Mhm.
some of the things that I feel that you gotta do some type of action and due diligence part
Right.
of it.
Right.
You can't be like, oh, I wanna like those are just some of the things. Like when it comes to like manifesting an ST or whatever, you don't have like that's one area where I'm like I'm a firm believer. I do not have to do anything because I have seen enough evidence and proof in my physical that I'm like, yeah, I don't have to do anything because everyone always comes to me. Like they always come to me. I don't go searching for them. I don't go chasing them. They leave for time temporary time being. They always come back. But that's my assumption. That's
Right.
my belief that they always come back. And I don't have to do anything for it. But there are other things where I'm like, no, I do have to do something. I can't just be like, yeah, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, and do the robotic affirmations. Not shading anybody who does it, but I can't just tell myself on an everyday basis and robotically affirm I'm healthy, and then I'm still eating junk food.
Exactly.
That,
Exactly.
that's counterproductive. It's like, what? Because now you're not eating to feel like you're not eating to fuel your body. You're eating to destroy your body.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's
Yeah.
like kind of like the mentality that I had to like switch with. Um, I had to really switch that because I'm like, am I eating because of the like? Why am I eating this? Like, am I eating because of this is comfort and what I'm used to, or am I eating because of the fuel? Like and the nourishment that it's going to give my body. And so
Right.
I'm thankful for a lot of the classes that I did take because it did teach me like, oh, your body needs X, Y, and Z to help fuel your body. But you not knowing, and I also did take a nutrition class um, too, so that's a blessing in disguise too. But I didn't realize how much the nutrition class also a lot of the terms in the nutrition are also showing up in the cell and molecular biology class. And I'm like, why is this all connected? Like what? Why is all these class? Like why is all this information connected? Like the cell and molecular biology class, it broke down what was in the nutrition class because in cell and molecular biology, it was teaching me, oh, well, your body needs this kind of protein and this type of amino acid and this and this and this and this and this. I'm like, oh, okay. Now I'm getting it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and this is how it breaks down, and this is where it's stored, and this is how it breaks down, and this is where it's going, and this is how energy is fueled. Everything is what? Energy.
Mm-hmm.
So when your
Right.
energy is not in alignment and you're not taking care of your energy and the
Mm-hmm.
fuel and giving your body fuel, your energy is going to be depleted.
Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly. So if someone is like, you can do all these manifestations of a healthy body and you're eating Doritos and Cheetos and McDonald's, you're not doing anything. You're not. You're wasting time and you are manifesting out of, I don't know what the hell you're manifesting for, but
Like,
don't do it. So
we don't.
yeah, part of having a healthy body is you putting in the work to have a healthy body, making sure you're getting your exercise, making sure you're sweating. You want to open up those drainage pathways. You want to make sure that you are eating healthy, clean food, organic, if you can. I always tell people try to go organic as much as possible. I know it's pricier, I get it, but you're you don't have to pay the price up ahead. Meaning when you're in your 50s and 60s and 70s, you won't be sick. You won't be relying on medication because you did all the hard work in your
Mm-hmm.
earlier years. Um, but yeah, you if you want to take care of your body, you can't be eating crap. Absolutely not.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah.
Plus, I think that when you're taking care of your body, you're also taking care of your nervous system, and when you take care of your nervous system, it allows for those manifestations that you want to come in a lot quicker.
Right. Yes.
Because now it's like, okay, now instead of them taking their sweet time or you operating with stagnant energy, now that energy can flow through you as opposed to being stagnant and stuck, and you can manifest at that rapid pace. And things will change at a rapid pace as opposed to, and you can quantum jump. Hey, quantum queen, look at that. You can quantum jump into your desired reality because your body can withstand that quantum jump versus if you're not feeling great and you're sleeping all the time or you're, you know, all of that, which is kind of what I was feeling. I was feeling so depleted where I wasn't doing. I was just trying to be, but I was always tired to the point where by the time I would get home from like, my job, I'm like working, and by the time I get home, I'm like showering, eating, and then going right to bed. And I'm like, this is counterintuitive. And since I did that session yesterday, I did my laundry, I cleaned, well, not exactly cleaned, but I'm in the process of decluttering. Because as many of you know, I'm in that process of manifesting my move to another state. So I'm decluttering. I'm getting rid of a lot of stuff that's not serving me, that reminds me of the old version of me, that I don't want it, get rid of it so I can make room for the new, because I don't want to take all of this with me, especially because I want this wealth and luxury lifestyle that a lot of the stuff that I have, I'm like, this doesn't represent luxury. This doesn't represent that lifestyle. Okay, garbage guy, gotta go. I took out my nightstand. I'm selling it. Like, I'm in. I'm getting rid of stuff. Like, I'm not playing around with when it comes to this move. So if it's not serving me, it's gotta go. But the fact that I'm energetic and I'm actually getting stuff done as opposed to just sleeping or taking a nap. Like, if I take a nap, then okay, that's fine. But I actually have energy. Whatever brain, like, pressure that I felt in front of my forehead that I was feeling, I don't really feel it as much as what I was feeling it. Like, it's not an everyday thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's good. I mean, one thing I tell all my clients and I tell a lot of people is how you treat yourself, people will treat you. So if you're eating crap, you're not getting the sleep you need, you're not, engaging in the exercise, you're not setting boundaries, you will attract people that are the exact mirror of who you are at that moment. So if you want a better future, you want better opportunities, better people in your life, a better partner, what have you, whatever, you need to take care of yourself very carefully. And then you're able to weed out, well, does this person add on to my happiness or do they pull me down? Right? Do they drag me down? And then that's when you're like, no, I'm already here. I'm already at a level where I take care of myself in a very careful way. And then the potential partner, friend, whoever opportunity, they need to meet you where you're at because you already did all the work. Right? So who you are, how you treat yourself, you will attract those kind of people into your life.
Yeah, that is very true. You are 1,000%, 100% correct when it comes to that, because you gotta. It's not about them. It's mostly just about you.
It is.
It's all about you and how you see the world, how you see yourself. It's not about anybody else. And you can't get mad when they're treating you like crap, and you're also treating yourself like crap.
Yeah. It's just simply a mirror. That's all it is. Simply a mirror.
It's all it really is that mirror.
Yeah.
Damn. But
Wow.
either way, still, do you want to tell everybody about like the You want to share with everybody like where they could find you and like all of that good stuff and any of your offerings of have all that so that people if they're interested when the replay goes up they can.
Yeah. Yeah. So my Instagram and TikTok is healingnutrition.rd. And I currently offer many 3 programs. There's a fourth one coming in the works, and I do gut health, hormone balancing. Also one for athletes. For my athletes, I got a few athletes, and also one that is just the basic nutrition counseling. Is that one is mainly for people with diabetes and that need some weight management guidance. And then I have one that is for toxins. That's going to be like a year-long program where we uncover a lot. It's going to be a very in-depth program. It's going to be like chef's kiss. And so I have that. And I offer a free 20-minute consultation for people that are interested. There's a link in my bio that they could fill out, and we could walk through like what they're looking for, what they're dealing with, and also pricing. And yeah, that's basically what I offer. So if you're interested, definitely check it out. If you want to stop by, say hi, say hi. And yeah, more than
That's
happy to help.
amazing. I love that. And I love how we got the chance to do this live because it was so good. I love
Yeah.
picking your brain on functional medicine because I genuinely did not know, and I'm thankful for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Joanna was amazing, guys.
Yeah.
Make sure to go give her a follow. Go show her page some love.
Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it. I got some coin. This again. This is my first TikTok live. What are these coin things?
They'll be in your back end, and you'll be able to. The more live, basically, if you do lives more often, you start going live more often, and you start getting, um, if you get more than $10 worth of coins, you'll get that deposited into your PayPal, like on either Tuesday or Wednesday.
Oh, that's so nice. So that's how that works.
Yeah, but you gotta do. You basically
Neat.
gotta go live, like you have because TikTok changed its live structure. You have to be able to go live more frequently because they changed the way that it goes and how you can get your. You can still get it, but they changed the dynamics of how they operate their live structure.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, for people that gave me coins, thank you so much.
Does
That's so
anybody have
nice.
any questions for Joanna before we maneuver with like getting off the live?
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Questions are always greatly appreciated. Let's see who's on here. The questions are always appreciated. So if you have any questions, get them in now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah. Oh man, but this is really nice.
No, I
Thank you.
appreciate it. You're welcome. I see this is like a I love being able to do these lives because it's just so fun. Like it's fun and it's engaging and it's a way for people to connect and show that we're not in competition and a way for us both to grow our platforms.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And
Definitely.
it's also a great way for people to learn.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is a great way for me for people to learn. Now I'm thinking about doing more lives. This is really cool.
You should.
I
You
don't
should
know how it
definitely
works.
do more lives. I think that they're very beneficial, even if you're only going live for an hour or so. Definitely go live because if you can start going live more often and let TikTok push, because basically TikTok will push out your content more when you are live more often. So the
Interesting.
more you go live, the more that it's beneficial. Like I know you're used to like doing it on Instagram, but
Uh-huh.
Instagram don't pay you to go
Uh-huh.
live. My Instagram isn't paying you to live.
Yeah,
They, going live on here is like an extra supplemental income.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh, good to
That's
know.
it definitely helps. Like even if I only got like $15 worth of coins, as long as it's over $10, that gets transferred into my PayPal
Wow.
like every Wednesday. So as long as you got more than $10, it automatically goes into your PayPal every Wednesday.
Wow. Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
So,
All right. Well, there's no questions.
questions?
If there's no questions, we'll just call it a day.
Yeah, I think this is either way. I think this was good, regardless, and it's not like we won't do this again.
Yeah, of course. We'll do it again. For
So
sure. For
I
sure.
don't think I'll do it again. I think this was a really good live, and it gave people a chance to test the waters and understanding and all that good stuff. And like I said, I'll post up the replay on the YouTube channel, and
Okay.
then send you the link. I don't know if you also have YouTube though. Do you have
I
YouTube?
do. I do. It's Healing Nutrition RD. I have TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, YouTube, you name it.
So
Got
send me
everything.
that when you get off. Send me that when you get off, so that I can, once this thing renders in the TikTok studio and I upload the video, I can at your um
YouTube,
YouTube channel.
for
I think
sure.
you can subscribe to your YouTube channel as well from that live replay.
Yes, yes. All right. So thank you so much. Take care, everyone. Thank you for joining and for taking with us.
Bye.
All right. Bye, everyone. Bye bye.